Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. What's up, Facebook? Let's wake up out here. So let me start off by giving my shout out, seeing who's on, seeing who's rocking with me today. And let's just see who we got out here today. Mr. Victor, shout out to him. How you doing, boss? Now, if you guys are watching this, put a 1 in the chat if you're watching this live. Put a 2 if you're watching replay. What I'm going to teach is something that's never been taught before. We're going to dive deep into this, and this is going to be really, really serious. So some people will see this, bypass it. Hey, that's up to you. But I'm just going to share something that's really, really factual. So I need to shout out to my man. I have not heard from you in a while. My teammate and my partner, Mrs. Powell Tavar. I know she is doing some awesome things on her page. She is helping people get healthy. She's doing a Zumba thing. And if you really, really want to, if you're a woman and you really, really want to shed those extra pounds, Powell is doing some amazing things with a great group of women. And again, couldn't be a better person to work out with. So shout out to you, Powell. Appreciate what you're doing out there. That's my big partner right there. How you doing? And she's watching live. So folks, as the comments come in, if you are watching, you can comment and say hi. I will make sure I acknowledge you and make sure that we give you a shout out on this podcast. And now this is probably going to be one of the most important podcasts that we have probably in the next few months. If you're watching this and you have a desire to at least build wealth, listen to every word that I'm going to say, because if you miss it, then you're going to miss something big. And some of you have already missed the boat, but don't worry. If you missed it last year, we're going to make sure you are informed this year. So if you missed it last year, I'm going to take the blame. Maybe I wasn't vocal enough in stressing this. Maybe I wasn't vocal enough in teaching this. So if you missed it, it's my fault. It's not your fault. But after I share with you what I'm going to share with you, if you miss this, it's 100% your fault. I'm not going to take the blame for you. So can we all agree that I'm going to give you the sauce right now? This is my man Azuma. How you doing, boss? What's happening? Hey, Zuma, I'm gonna be back again this Thursday. I'm gonna talk to Cheryl. I actually been out on business trips as well, so I'll be back on top and everything on Thursday. So we'll be rocking and rolling again. So listen, folks, let's talk here. So I'm gonna ask you a very specific question, and you can comment, or you can think about it, or you can answer rhetorically. It's whatever is going to be float your boat. And my man Edward McKinney says, sauce. I'm going to give it a sauce, Eddie. I'm not playing now. I'm going to give it. So if I ask you this question, my man Carlos is on here too. Carlos. Shout out to Carlos. And shout out to Eddie. And shout out to you, Zuma. I'm just blasting y'all with shout outs. And I got more ammunition too. So listen very carefully. If I asked you, this is where we have a lack of understanding here. A lot of people do, because I've asked this question and the answers I got back is so crazy. If I ask you right now, what are you doing to build and secure wealth? What would be your answer? There we go. What would be your answer? And again, if you answer this and let's say it's not in line with where it should go, it's okay, because this is where the education come in. I've asked this question and the answers I've gotten back We're going to go over them. And then I'm going to include yours as well. So we're going to all learn this. And so if I said, what are you doing right now to build and secure wealth? Someone put an answer right there. What are you doing? You can put whatever you feel like you is proper to put. So let's wait for some answers. And again, there's no wrong answer because it could lead to that, but there is an answer that's going to be more in line with getting you to building at least $1 million portfolio in wealth. So let's hear some answers here. Tex is in the house. Daniel is in the house here. Daniel, what's happening? So let's get some answers to this question. What are you doing to build and secure wealth? And your answer is going to help me to help you guys educate some people and help you get in line, because what I'm going to share with you today is going to be something that could start the $1 million asset building and asset protection phase. So let's hear some answers. Asset acquisition. Perfect. I like his answer, and we're going to talk about why his answer makes perfect sense. Real estate investing, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. I like two of those answers. Two of those answers are in line, will make perfect sense. One of them is a little shaky right now, but the two of them, Yazuma, you got it nailed to the bone. Shout out to him nailing it to the bone. And so Carlos said asset acquisition. That's absolutely correct. Real estate investing, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. One of them I'm going to kick out, but that's absolutely correct as well. So let's dive into this. Now, these are the best answers I've gotten. When I have asked the average person, I said, what are you doing to build wealth and secure wealth? I'm going to give you the answers I've gotten, and then we're going to educate you why there's a difference between wealth and income. Hey, I said, I'm not going to name any names. What are you doing to build wealth? The person says, well, man, I just joined this opportunity and I'm going to be selling a lot of cool things. I just joined this Forex opportunity. So again, what are you doing to build wealth? Man, I just got into this opportunity, man. And, we're going to be selling, things that will, help people, get healthier. Okay. That's not anything that's doing or building wealth. What are you doing to build wealth? Man, I just bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Okay. Let's look at the definition of wealth, because some people confuse income with wealth building. They're two opposite things, folks. They're two opposite things. Income can easily become outcome. You know why? Because there is a benefit to earning income, and there's a detriment to earning income. What's the detriment? The detriment to earning income is the income that you get in will quickly dissipate because it's in the form of what? It's in the form of cash or currency. So we have to make sure our income streams are active, because if they die, then the outcome is you're not going to have money, or the outcome is some of that income that you have coming in is used to pay bills or used to pay expenses. But I'm talking about assets. So again, I'm talking about wealth. I'm talking about building wealth. So people confuse earning income or income streams with building wealth. Now, I do a whole lot of things. I do weight loss stuff. I do cryptocurrency. I do a lot of stuff because I like to have a lot of streams of income. But none of that is wealth building. That's just income. Let's look up the definition of wealth, because I think a lot of people are just confused right now. And they're like, Melvin, what are you talking about? You're all over the place. Income is different. That's a part of being able to establish recurring money that comes in your house, or recurring cash. Wealth building is different. That's something that you do with the money once you got it, right? So you can make all the money in the world and still be broke. I know people that make 7 figures a year and they're broke. And they're broke. Why? Because their bills exceed 7 figures a year. See, let's just talk about something here. I'm gonna do a favor for everyone, because I know we're getting a little confused and everything, and people are saying, well, what is this guy talking about? He asked me about wealth and I'm talking about income. Well, first of all, we need to establish and we need to agree on something. We all need to agree what the definition is of wealth. We need to agree on that. So in order for us to agree on that, we got to go to something that's very, very factual. So allow me to share my screen. I'm going to share a Chrome tab. And as I share this Chrome tab, I want to type in the definition of wealth. All right. So let me read this to you, just in the back, in case you don't understand. As it says right here, the definition of wealth. Here we go, right here in Google. An abundance of valuable possessions or money, a state of being rich, material prosperity, plentiful supplies, and particular resource. Let me repeat: an abundance of valuable possessions. An abundance of valuable possessions. Okay, so let me get back to talking about wealth. So, if wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions, right? Some people say, well, Melvin, I still have wealth. I have money in the bank. That's wealth. That's not wealth. That is not wealth. Money in the bank is not wealth. Money in the bank is one of the biggest risks you can ever take, because the form of money you have in the bank is not the form of money that's real money. You have cash and currency in the bank. And we're going to talk about, and I'm going to play this for a third time, we're going to talk about what happens to your money in the bank. But let's just say you define wealth as money in the bank, or you define wealth as currency or cash. You define wealth as cash, the amount of cash that you have. That is not wealth. Cash is not wealth. What creates cash is wealth. What makes it, what something that is value that could be transferred into cash makes it wealth. But cash itself is not wealth. So let me explain. Right now, we're in tumultuous times. Okay, you're seeing inflation happen. You're seeing prices go berserk. You're seeing war break out. Okay. Now, let's say you were a Russian citizen, and let's say the rubles, let's say you were in the position of being in Russia. And let's say you have rubles, right? That's what they use. That's their currency. But let's just say instead of rubles, let's say dollars. So you got $5,000 in the bank. You're like, I have assets. I have assets. Yeah, I have assets. I got $5,000 in the bank. So you believe that because you that is your wealth building method. That's correct. And let me just kind of put out some comments right here. Which one is shaky? The Bitcoin is shaky, and we're going to get to why. Bitcoin is a tool, but because it's too volatile over the long term, it could be an asset or it could be not an asset. So it's not a physical object because the value shifts too frantically. Now, Bitcoin is very, very profitable. It is, but you have to know, you can't just keep it in Bitcoin. You have to know how to move it, right? And so we got some some shout out. What's up, Renee? How you doing? So let's get back to the point. Person says to me that their wealth building strategy is to put money in the bank. All right, now let's say the same thing happened to you in this country that happened to Russia. Now you think it can't happen? Well, history is always right? It happened in Germany, it happened in Venezuela, and it's happening in Russia, and it is happening in our United States as well. But let's say you had $5,000 in the bank and you were in Russia, you're a Russian citizen, and you're like, my assets are secure. Well, let me tell you what your $5,000 would be worth. If you were in Russia because of this war, Russia had their currency reduced to just 1 ruble equaling a penny. That means if you had $5,000 in the bank right now, your $5,000 is worth $50. So you believe that cash or currency is a wealth building method. It is not. And I'm going to show you right now how Russia is able to fund the war. You think those missiles that they're getting, launching those missiles, and I mean, because they're shooting hypersonic missiles. I'm going to share something with you right quick that Russia is doing. How is Putin able to still have some type of financial gain? We have devalued his dollar. We have sanctioned him. But what is the one thing that we can't do no matter what? How is he financing the war? Let me show you something. Let me show you something, man. Woo-wee. I'm gonna tell you, y'all gonna learn today. Y'all is gonna learn today. I got to show y'all this because this is gonna be, this could be pretty life changing here. Let let me get my screens together, y'all. Y'all gonna learn something today. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something really quick here. And we're going to show you the difference in both, right? As soon as I get my screens right. Okay, my screens are good. All right, so I'm going to share. I'm going to show you if you were in Russia, and I'm going to show you how Putin, even though his ruble has been devalued, even though the credit rating of his country has been devalued, how is he still able to get money? Why is he's concerned, the people of Russia are concerned, but he's not concerned. Well, let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you how powerful this method can be. I want you to take a look at this right here. This is from the news article. The fifth largest stockpile of gold in the world belongs to who? Russia, valued at nearly 140 billion. As with oil, sanctions are making it very difficult for Russia to trade precious commodities. Demand for gold is still high within the country as the ruble has crashed to record lows. Let me hold that right there. Let's pause it right here. Let me come back to you. Got to come back to y'all on this one. So, do you think for one moment that if Putin went to any country, China, and needed more weapons made or needed more material, and he says, I give you $1 billion in gold for one missile, you think they're not going to take it? You think they're not going to take gold? Folks, gold and silver have power. They have purchasing power. So if you're thinking that these sanctions are going to completely stop them, they have 140 billion in gold. That's why do you think they stockpile gold and silver? Why do you think they stockpile it? Why do you think that happens? I'm going to tell you why. Because gold and silver have a 5,000-year history of prosperity. Doesn't matter if they devalue his ruble, right? Russia has stockpiled gold. Who isn't going to buy gold? Now I want you to look on all the commercials, every Facebook ad that you've ever seen during this time. Have you seen anybody selling gold or silver? Anybody? You don't really see it, do you? They're selling everything else but gold and silver. There's a reason for that. What you will find is people that are buying gold and buying silver. They will buy it from you. You won't have any trouble unloading it today. They will buy it from you. There's a reason for that, folks. And that's why we get into the mindset of wealth building. Now, if you still believe after everything I'm talking about, if you still in your heart believe that wealth is holding on to cash, I'm going to tell you something. The reason why people are living paycheck to paycheck, the reason why people have more month than money left is because they're thinking wrong. They're thinking cash, 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 cash. They're not thinking about turning wasted cash into valuable assets. And that's what we're teaching in our wealth strategy. That's what we're doing for people. Now, I'm going to come to a point really, really quick here. And you guys are going to see how exactly you can start building, exactly, if you want to, how you can start building assets. So let me just give you the short answer. Wealth is land, gold, and silver. Wealth is land, gold, and silver. Or any material. We get back to the definition. Definition says an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Now, real money is a store of value. So you can't call currency or cash money. It's a store of value. Now they call it that, but money is supposed to store value. Now, your dollars is not storing value. Let me tell you why. In 1989, $20 could buy you 20 gallons of gas. $20 can buy you 20 gallons of gas in 1989, right? So let's say if you kept that same $20 to today, $20 could buy you 4 gallons of gas. $20 could buy you 4 gallons of gas today. Just 4. In 1989, it could buy you 20. Now it could buy you 4. You see why holding on to cash is not a smart wealth mindset move? It's not a smart wealth mindset move. Not smart at all. Not smart at all. But if you had 20 ounces of silver instead of $20, if you had 20 ounces of silver right now, 20 ounces of silver right now could buy you 600 gallons of gas. So what are we learning here? Let me just break down my point, folks. And again, we've taken on people last year, and we gave people an opportunity that's like another. And there is an income side to it, but if you don't want to do the income side, we have an opportunity where the worst case scenario, the worst case scenario is number one, you save at least $300 a month. You're taking $300 a month that's in your household, and you're literally going to save that. That's your worst case scenario. What we got going on, you can save $300 a month here. Let me pull up my savings here. So literally, in your worst case scenario, with opportunity, your worst case scenario is this: you put $3,600 a year back in your pocket. You give yourself a $3,600 raise. You're already wasting this money anyway. That's one worst case scenario. The next worst case scenario is you have an abundance of assets. You have wealth. You have wealth. All right. Remember, what did we say wealth was? Let's go back to it. Wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions. You have wealth. That's your worst case scenario. That's your worst case scenario. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share something with you guys about what we've been doing with people with our wealth building courses or in our wealth building meetings, of how people who have not even did anything, right? They're not even doing the business side. They're just a member. We have people that are just a member that have had an accumulation of wealth. They might have invested maybe $1,200 last year in wealth building, and now they have $30,000 to $40,000. The $1,200 turned to $30,000 to $40,000, and they're not having to use charts. They're just having a physical object, and they're keeping it in their house. That's it. It's no complication in that. There's no up and downs in that, and it has a 5,000-year track record. And that is what I really want to share with people. And that is why I think people right now, people who are with us and still on our journey, they are smiling last year. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share one example now. I can tell you right now, if you are wondering if this works, an entity, I'm not going to ever say my name in this, because I think people get out of whack with the IRS, and they get out of whack with showing too much. I don't do that. I'm very meticulous in how I kind of display myself. So I'm going to say this for those of you who might be watching. There might be IRS, so you might be having a lawsuit against me or something, which I don't have any lawsuits now. But an entity, not Melvin Crawley, but an entity has over 7 figures in assets. An entity has over 7 figures in assets. An entity has over 7 figures in assets. An entity. I will never say myself, because through some strategy, folks, I am on the one system. I will have to teach you about that later. I'm on the one system. If you don't know what the one system is, then I'll explain it to you. But this is how you build assets. So I'm going to talk to you. Let me just play some comments, because I want to make sure you guys are involved. And let's say, Victor, how do you build wealth when you're already struggling to take care of your simple expenses? Well, it's very simple, Victor. This is how you build wealth. Number one, you have to take an investment of the money that you're spending, any type of additional money that you're spending. All right. I'm going to show you a survey. The average person wastes about $138 a month on something. So what you want to do in this particular time is, if you have a vehicle that can save you more money and build assets, that takes care of that. So right now, without our vehicle, you're probably overspending, right? And so again, that can help take care of your expenses. If we could reduce your expenses with an app, that helps put money back in your pocket. And he's right. Miguel says it begins with a mindset shift. You're right. So after you program your mind, I'm going to tell you where you can go and see this. It's a presentation we have. I'm going to show you. We teach you exactly how to do this. We teach you exactly how to build assets. Exactly. No bones, no fluff. Yep. And we'll go over that, Victor. And so we'll definitely jump into assets. So we'll show you how to convert wasted money into valuable assets. Let's see. The refugees living in Ukraine must have would have a much easier time crossing into Poland with $1 million in their Bitcoin wallet. They actually would, and and Bitcoin does have its uses, but at the same time, Bitcoin also, as we've seen, can be can be manipulated as well, and they can be also scammed. We see Bitcoin scams and everything, and so Bitcoin has its uses. I'm not taking it all the way out the equation, but in some cases or whatever, Bitcoin is reliant on technology. What happens if What happens if the phones get shut down? What happens if they blow up towers? What happens if they blow out the internet? How do they access to Bitcoin? What happens if they got supersonic missiles? They aim them in a communication tower, right? And if you're in Ukraine, you lose access to technology. You lose access to Bitcoin. You lose access to technology. You lose access to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is beautiful, but it doesn't work without technology. It doesn't work without access to viable technology. Gold and silver works, doesn't need technology. You just need the carrier. That's it. So Bitcoin is amazing, but hey, someone takes our technology. If you lose your phone, you don't have your password key, it's a done deal. You're one and done. So that's one thing about that as well. Hey Laura, how you doing? Shout out to Laura. Now Carlos is, you know what? Carlos said this perfectly. He said this perfectly. He said Bitcoin is a good offensive strategy, not so much a defensive strategy because of instability. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about building, and the second part was securing wealth, and that's a defensive strategy. Shout out to Mr. Eddie Spears as well. And I have a portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I'm going to tell you what I do. So all of my income that I earn from this opportunity, I don't turn it into cash. I put it directly into silver and gold directly. I don't take any cash. And because I've done that, the cash that I would have earned has tripled since last year. And I'm going to show you what I do with it. So we'll talk about this. I'm going to give you a website where you can go to, but let's talk further. So let's say I told you there were two worst case scenarios in this opportunity. Your worst case scenario number one is that you happen to save money, which, basically if you save money, if you save $300 a month with our savings app, then literally you would have $3,600 a year coming back into your household. You give yourself a $3,600 raise if you use our app. Our app is like giving yourself a $3,600 raise, doing nothing but just using it to save. As a matter of fact, I'll kind of show you. So doing nothing but using our savings app, because we have an app that you put on your phone. If you're a member, you use it, and if you save $300 a month, at least that's $3,600 a year you save. You're going to generate an extra $3,600. So again, this opportunity really doesn't cost you anything because we're going to save you everything. Secondly, is if you participate in this opportunity and you do nothing, I'm going to share a story with you. We have something, and the business side is easy. The business side is this: invite two people to a wealth building strategy. If you do that, and they decide that they want to build wealth and secure wealth, you're going to earn $500 a week. And repeat: invite two people to a wealth building seminar. If they decide to get a membership, and look, what are we selling? We're not selling anything. We're not selling anything. What we're doing is teaching people how to build wealth. You don't sell wealth. You don't. See, some of you guys, you don't sell wealth. You don't sell wealth. People buy wealth, but you don't sell it. People make a decision. Hey, I want to become wealthy, and guess what? They will pursue things that make them wealthy. I don't have to sell the fact that the money in your savings account is dwindling. I don't have to sell the fact that inflation is happening. I don't have to sell that. You feel that right now. Just go to the gas pump. You'll see it. I don't have to sell that. That's something that we don't have to sell. All we're doing is showing people to take the money that they're already wasting, and we're turning wasted money into wealth building tool. That's it. That's all we're doing. We got a membership. That membership comes with assets. We're turning people's wasted money that you're wasting, you're flushing down the toilet, we're turning it into valuable assets. What you're doing when you join us, what you're doing when you invest, is you're saying, hey, I don't have any wealth. I want to start building wealth right now. And I'm going to show you how literally in 1986, if you follow the strategy, you would have $1 million right now in wealth. And again, what do we say wealth was? Let's go back. Definition of wealth is what? An abundance of valuable possession. That's why I can't classify cash as wealth, right? Because if you had $1 million right now, $1 million doesn't spend $1 million. $1 million spends about $800,000. That is how deep dive cash is going. It's going to get worse. So look, we had a gentleman who was part of us, and let me tell you, we had a gentleman who was part of us, and I'm going to share his story. He don't mind. And all he wanted to really do was he just wanted to participate in the wealth building. He didn't really, I mean, he could participate in business, but let me show you what he did. By doing nothing, this is what you could do. Our company has a way that they will buy your assets from you. So let me just share a story with you, if you don't mind. I'm going to pull up on Facebook. I'm going to share a story, and I'm going to share something with you about the worst case scenario. So this is the worst case scenario. Now, put a 1 in the chat, and if you're in a company where your worst case scenario is you end up with $3,600 a year in savings, and you can end up with over $4,000 a year in assets. I don't care what you're doing out here. If you're doing any type of business where you sell something and you don't sell it, it doesn't become more valuable the longer you hold on to it. It becomes less valuable. If you're doing weight loss or things of that nature, those are great. Those are income sources. I do weight loss as well. But you know what? At the end of the day, if I have a bunch of weight loss products that I didn't eat or that I didn't sell, I cannot sell them a year later and make more money. As a matter of fact, it's going to become a loss to me. So let's talk about why our members, they have assets, and if they do nothing with them, the value increases. Let me just show you this right quick. I'm going to go to my man Julian here. Julian Green, if you're watching, I'm going to be showing your testimony because I think it was one of the most powerful testimonies that I've ever seen in what we do. And this is real deal life. So, and Julian shows plenty of proof. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So I want to pull up Julian's post here, if I can. There we go. All right. I'm going to share this with you. This is our member, and here is his worst case scenario. And this was last year. Some of you could have been in this position this year. Here's a worst case scenario for you. Here's a worst case scenario for you, like crazy, right? All right, so let's look at his worst case scenario. Julian said, hey, the power of precious metals. Even in a hostile, volatile market with high inflation, we are able to increase our net worth. During these times, everyone is holding on to their money except for the area concerning precious metals. I was able to sell a piece of bullion for $600, without even really trying. And this is another way people in this group bring in money. I just really wanted to see if it would work. Within a week, I listed the item. It was sold, and it alerted them that the money has already been received, and they're waiting for me to send the item. This is remarkable only because the present climate concerning the economy. I'm in not many side hustles can you do this. What is even more incredible is that the money will be credited to my Sound Money wallet, which gives me the ability to turn the cash into silver or gold, which comes free with your membership. When the market goes up, as it has for both silver and gold, so does your account. You might ask yourself, why would I let someone know about my cash, silver, and gold? Because in this group, there are so many people who have way more gold and silver and cash than I do. Some with around $250,000 collectively, and many with $10,000, $20,000 in both silver and gold. I'm just starting. This is the power of precious metals. This is a receipt right now because he bought a coin last year, and he just wanted to see if he can get his value out of it. Now, I can guarantee you the coin that he sold, he didn't pay $600 for it. He probably paid, I don't know, maybe around $250 or something like that. I have to ask him. But either way, his $250 that he spent, he held it for a year and got $600 for something that he spent $250 for. Is there anything that you're doing right now? Where you could sell it for almost 2 times the value? Folks, that's the power of what we're doing today. Now, I'm gonna make it simple for you guys. You already seen the membership part. On the income part, on our income part, This is simple. How many people right now know two people, just two people who would like to turn wasted money into wealth building assets? If you say yes, what if we gave you an invite to send to them? You didn't have to think about the invite. We're going to give you the invite and say, hey, send this to your people. And what if we did all the work? We did all the explaining, we did the training, we did everything. And all you had to do was something that you naturally do every single day. Now, I don't want to hear this mess about, I don't want to talk about it. Well, that's bullcrap, because every single day you talk to somebody about a movie you saw on Netflix. Every single day you talk to somebody about a savings that you got online. Every single day you talk somebody into watching something. Every single day you're sharing posts. Every single day you're sharing this, you're sharing that. Every single day you're sharing and you're not getting paid for it. And the things that you're sharing are things that make people spend money. The definition of spend is to deplete. You're helping people already to spend money. That's deplete. We are helping people to buy. You know what buy and spend mean? The definition of spend means to deplete, to use up. The definition of buy is ownership. We're teaching people to buy and own something. Buy equals wealth. Spend equals debt. So you're already teaching people to spend for free. Hey man, go check out this show on Netflix. They go buy Netflix, you get nothing. Hey man, go check out this go check out this restaurant, right? Hey, I know you want to refer, but you know what? You refer them, you get nothing, they spend. Hey man, I know you got a family. Look, I want you to come to this presentation, and it will help you to build wealth for your family and protect your asset. You're showing them how to buy. You're showing them how to get ownership. That's a big difference, folks. That's what we do. We show you how to be in a position of ownership. That's what we do. As a matter of fact, you find two people. You find two people to listen to this thread, right? You find two people. And you, my friend, will be in a position to earn $250 to $500 a week. Just two people. Is there any other opportunity where two people can build wealth and you're going to get paid $500 a week, $250 to $500 a week, because you invited two people to build wealth? And you already can earn off of the people that we're bringing. We're bringing in tons of people. Those people we can't benefit too much from. They're being put under other people. So what happens is you bring in two people, you bring in a cousin, an aunt, a friend, and they get a membership, right? Depending on where you're at in our compensation plan, because our compensation plan is sexy, placing them correctly, they're going to have half of their business pretty much already built. So it doesn't take much to do this. As a matter of fact, man, you got anybody that's earning 500? Oh, you got people that's earning 500, or Melvin? Well, you know what, Melvin? Did you earn $500? Let me see if you earned 500. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked. So let's just pull up. Let me just take my screenshot here and show you. So look here below. On March 6th, I got a payout of $500. On today, what's today? Oh, today is the 20th. Do you see that I got paid $250 today? It's pending. Well, did I do anything? No, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I just had my two people. So my two people is getting me in the last 2 weeks $750 for just having two people. Two people. That's it. Two people. Am I doing physical labor? See, we're so used to doing physical labor that we don't understand the power of wealth and leverage. Folks, that's what we're teaching you here. We're teaching you power and leverage. So if someone is sharing this video with you, you get back with them and you make sure you attend that wealth seminar. We have it every night at 8:30, Monday through Friday, and we have it Saturday at 12 o'clock. Then we have a short training. You know what our training does? Our training shows you how to leverage the day for you. Most of you are used to trading 8 hours a day for cash. We show you how to make 24 hours a day work for you. So you got one or two choices. You can trade 8 hours of your hard-earned life that God gave you for beans or for whatever your company pays you. All right, nothing wrong with a job, but you have to trade time for that. Or we can teach you how to make a day work 24 hours for you. Which would you rather have? Don't you want the day working for you? Don't you want to be at home like I'm at home doing a podcast, something I love to do, and I just earn $250 today doing nothing? Doing nothing? I earned it off of work that I already did. Let me put that. So I did do some work. Yeah, I invited some people, and I'm earning because they're getting wealthy. So you earn when people build wealth. Now, people are going to build wealth with or without you. Point is, are you going to be in position to make that day work for you 24 hours a day? Are you going to be in a position for the day to work for you 24 hours while people build wealth? Or are you going to be sitting on the sidelines and people are going to be building wealth anyway, and you're not going to be saving money? You're going to be in the same exact place you're in now. As a matter of fact, you're going to be worse because the economy is going to get worse before it gets better. So, folks, what I'm trying to tell you is this. If you missed it last year, that's my fault. My bad. Maybe I didn't broadcast enough. Maybe I didn't share it enough. But if you missed it this time, that's 100% on you. That's 100% on you. And don't be crying if you heard this and someone comes to you saying, "Man, I bought some assets, and I might have spent $4 grand on the assets. Guess what? They're worth 60 grand a day." So we did our job. We did what we were supposed to do, and that's why I say, you got to pay close attention, folks. This is attention time. This right here, two people, $250 to $500 a week. We show you the rest on a comp plan. You need to attend our wealth strategy. And if someone is sharing with you, you need to attend with them. So I want to show you one last thing before I get out of here, because I got some things to do. But you might say, man, is anybody earning, Melvin? Is anybody, do you have anyone who has accomplished this? We know you do it. That's easy. You have this platform. You're doing this. You're doing that. So you earning money doesn't really speak to me, right? Because we know you're gonna earn money because you're an entrepreneur 24/7. You got the microphone, you got the podcast, you got the lights, you got the sharp lineup, and you got the beard and everything. All that. I'm just messing with y'all. But you got all the tools. You're an entrepreneur at heart. But what about me? What about a newbie person? What about a person that doesn't have any experience? What about a person that is just coming from a 9 to 5 and I don't know anything? What about them? Do you have examples of them, Melvin? Because you're cool and all, you make money and all, but you're just a different breed. We're not there yet. We don't have all this social media stuff and we don't know how to run ads and all that kind of stuff. We can't speak as eloquently as you. We don't do Facebook Live. Okay. I'm gonna show you a lot of people that don't do Facebook Lives, don't do anything. Let's just kind of dive into what they're earning, because that's a fair question. That's a fair shot. Pay attention to your screen, please, if you don't mind. We're gonna show you something here. We're gonna show you something real big here. So I want to direct you to my screen here as I share. I definitely want to direct you here. So be patient with me as I move this stuff around, because this takes a lot of moving around. Okay. So let me get my face out of here. So you recognize any of these people? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Well, yeah, a lot of these people, man, they don't have podcasts. They don't have a big following, but they just knew two people. Yeah, they knew two people. Yeah, they sure did. They just knew two people. They just knew two people. Look at them. They knew two people. How many people don't even turn on Facebook, but they knew two people? I got more. That's not it. I got more. Yeah, those people right there. Yeah, they knew two people. Yeah, they just knew two people. Yeah, just take a look at them. They knew two people. Yeah, they don't have big followings. They don't have big, they don't advertise, but they knew two people. Knew two people. Oh, more? Oh, yeah. It's plenty more. It's plenty of more. It's plenty of more. Now, while you're watching this is happening probably every hour on hour. Two people. So my question to you is this. What would be one reason why you wouldn't want to come to a presentation today? The only reason I can come up with is you already have an abundance of assets. You don't need any more. But then if you do, and you have an abundance of assets without this, wouldn't you like to earn money by sending people to a presentation? You don't have to teach them. We do it for you. So folks, I want to share with you something. I'm going to give me a few more minutes of your time. I'm going to share with you, number one, why we all potentially miss $1.2 million and we made a mistake. Let me show you the power of gold and silver. So check this out. We're going to listen to this together.
Of the US dollar from 1913 to 2013. In 1913, the purchasing power of the dollar was worth $1. In 2013, it was worth 5 cents. We have seen the dollar and all world currencies lose value over time. Some of this is due to inflation. But most of this is because of a change that occurred in 1971. In 1971, the U.S. president ended the Bretton Woods Agreement, which cut all ties to currencies being backed by gold. All at once, all world currencies became a fiat currency, meaning they are simply backed by what the government says they're worth. Take this scenario for example. Let's say you wanted to purchase a brand new Ford Mustang in 1965. It would have cost you roughly $2,500 or 2,500 silver coins. Today, that same $2,500 won't get you the car. But the same 2,500 silver coins could buy you 2 cars. As you can see here, while the US dollar has lost its value over time, gold and silver has maintained its purchasing power. So what would have happened if you knew this was going to occur and started purchasing silver? Let me show you. It begins with the MS-70 Silver Eagle. MS stands for Mint State. It's a grading system. And an MS-70 means the coin is in its perfect condition. If you purchased one of these coins every single month since 1986, you would be sitting on a $1.2 million portfolio. And get this, that $1.2 million would have only cost you about $50,000. That's the $1.2 million mistake.
So what you think about that? What do you think about that? That's true. Now, for those you said, well, I just put my money in the bank, that's assets. Well, let me share this with you. I'm going to share one more thing with you, and then we're going to peace out. So I already told you that, hey, we've all made that $1.2 million mistake. What if you had known about gold and silver? Well, you know about it now, and you still have time to do something about it. If you miss that wave, don't worry. The next wave of price or value increases for gold and silver, it's coming. Trust me, it's going to come. But let's talk about the bank. I put all my money in a bank, Melvin. I don't need no freaking gold and silver. Okay? Let me show you something about your bank. Listen to this.
Now, this may come as a shock to you, but when you deposit your currency with the bank, you're not actually depositing it into an account to be safely held in trust for you. Instead, you're actually loaning the bank your currency, and within certain legal limits, they can do with it pretty much anything they please. This includes gambling in the stock market and loaning it out, at a profit, of course. Now this is where the machine of currency creation really gets cranking, because this is where something called fractional reserve lending comes into play. Fractional reserve lending is exactly what it says. The banks are allowed to reserve only a fraction of your deposit and loan the rest out. Although reserve ratios may vary, I'm going to use a 10% reserve ratio as our example. If you deposit $100 in your account, the bank can legally take $90 of it and loan it out without telling you. The bank must hold $10 of your deposit in reserve just in case you want some of it. These reserves are called vault cash. But why does your bank account still say you have $100 if the bank has stolen $90 of it? Because the bank left IOUs it created called bank credit in its place. Now I know this sounds crazy, but here it is in black and white from the Fed. Commercial banks create checkbook money when they grant a loan simply by adding new deposit dollars in accounts on their books in exchange for a borrower's IOU. These are nothing but numbers that the banks type into their computers. And even though these bank credit IOU numbers are very different from base currency numbers, because they only exist in computers, they are still currency. So now there is $190 in existence. Now the reason people take out loans from the banks is to buy something. They're going to buy a house or a car or something like that. So the borrower takes the $90 that the bank loaned to him from your account and he pays the seller of the item. But then the seller deposits that currency into his account and his bank loans out 90% of that and leaves bank credit numbers in its place. So now there's $271 in existence. This process repeats and repeats until under a 10% reserve ratio, an initial deposit of just $100 can create up to $1,000 of bank credit, all backed by $100 of vault cash, just 10%. But as I said, reserve ratios vary wildly. On some deposits, it's 10%, on others, it's 3%, And on some forms of deposits, reserve requirements are zero. The result is that the expansion of the currency supply by the banks is far greater than even this example would lead you to believe. So once again, when currency is deposited in the banks get to lend it out, and then it gets redeposited and relent, redeposited and relent, redeposited and relent over and over again, creating bank credit all the way. This is where the vast majority of our currency supply comes from. In fact, 92 to 96% of all currency in existence is created not by the government, but here in the banking system. Now, massive amounts of currency spewing into society may at first sound like a fun idea. That is, until you remember one of the most important hidden secrets of money from episode 1, that the prices of everyday goods and services act as a sponge on an expanding currency supply. The more currency we have, the more prices rise. This is where inflation comes from. The true definition of inflation is an expansion of the currency supply. Rising prices are merely the symptom. So our entire currency supply is nothing but a couple of bucks whipped up in this hocus-pocus scam where the Treasury and the Federal Reserve swap glorified IOUs, and a bunch of numbers that the banks just type into their computers. That's it. That's our entire currency supply. It's nothing but a supply of numbers. Some of them printed, most of them typed, and there is nothing else.
Okay, so let's talk about that. That is how inflation pretty much starts. So you may ask yourself, so I just showed you at the bottom of my screen that, we can invite two people to see a presentation, and that presentation could be something that turns into them wanting to build wealth. And let me show you what happens. If they want to build wealth, here's what happens on your worst case scenario. Hey, I got two people. I can earn anywhere from 500 to 250 to 500 a week just for inviting two people to share wealth. Now, another worst case scenario. We discussed this. On my phone, I have an app, and this app literally saves me money on everything I do, everywhere I go, even gas. So let me just show you this. This is something that most people don't have. And as a member, you get this app, and this app is very powerful. And I need to screen share it, but I'm going to show you what I can on my phone, and you may not be able to see it. So I'm going to go here to my area. And if you can't see that really well, but if you look at this on my app, it marks my area. I can save 15 cents a gallon on gas through this app. As a matter of fact, I can save money on eating out. I can save money on groceries. I'm going to tip a place. I'm going to press a place I'm about to go to eat, and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to use a coupon, and right now, when I go out to dinner, I get 15% off of my regular price. So I'm not having to pay full price for anything again. This thing is phenomenal. It is a Advantage app. It gives you 800,000 ways to save. Let me repeat that for those in the back. You get 800,000 ways to save. 800,000, okay? That's my one worst case scenario. Let me give you my other worst case scenario. Let me move this. I got all my assets dropping all over the place. So let me move my assets out of the way. And so worst case scenario is, well, I have gold. I have gold that's worth more is worth more now than the day that I bought it. I have gold right here. Oh yeah, I have more gold. Yep. I have assets. So these are assets. And in the back, there's a barcode and everything. And you can go to Paper Money Guarantee, and you can actually scan this code, and it tells you the worth of this, the value of this. This is gold. More gold. I'm not going to show you my whole collection because it's a lot. More gold. All right, more. These are amazing. Now, what makes gold, this type of gold and this type of silver valuable? And as you see, I have rare silver coins, right? I have rare silver coins right here. As you see, rare. And these are just much better than regular silver, much better than regular gold. I'm going to tell you why. Because these assets right here, as you see, these assets right here, they are minted, right? They're low mintage. There's not a lot on this earth. So again, I got some assets they're only 500 created. 500 created on this earth, no more. And so as you see these, as I'm showing them, they're extremely valuable. So there's a difference between purchasing, or let me not say purchase. There's a difference between buying and owning the type of gold and silver that we have versus any gold and silver. So let me ask you a question. If you were to buy a piece of cardboard, how much would it be worth? Not much. But if you were to buy a Michael Jordan rookie card, if you had a Michael Jordan rookie card, probably worth over 20,000 or probably worth over $30,000, maybe more, maybe $60,000. A Michael Jordan rookie card is probably $60,000. What is it printed on? It's printed on a card, right? Why is it worth so much? That's the difference. It depends on the rarity of an item. It depends on the value of an item. And that's what these are, right? So you got regular gold and silver that goes up in value. Then you have these numismatic coins where they're rare and they're going to be a little bit more valuable than your regular spot price of gold and silver. Why? Because they're rare and they're minted, and no more of these can be made than what's allotted. Meaning that for the entire history of mankind, once the mintage stops of a particular coin, no more can be made. That creates the rarity. That drives the value way higher. So, folks, if you want to build $1 million worth of wealth, you have to have a foundation. Most people right now cannot afford to buy land. You cannot afford to buy a house because the prices are high. But right now, you can get started with gold. That could be your doorway into building wealth. That could be your doorway into securing a future for you and your family. And my thing is this: you've seen me on here a couple of times, and I talk to people about a lot of things, but wealth building is something that it's a perfect time to start right now, because right now you're battling inflation, you're battling a whole lot of factors that are already against you, you're battling the manipulation of currency. You need a good defense. Your best defense is to start having a foundation of gold, silver, and a way to save. So, folks, with that said, if you are interested in anything that I've shown you, if you want to attend our next wealth seminar, I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm just asking you to attend. There is a link above or below this video. Just click it. As a matter of fact, I'll share it with you really quick. If you go to my website, which is replacemy9to5.com, or you can click the link below. If you go to replacemy9to5.com, I'm going to show you something. On this website, you can actually register to attend our next presentation. And if someone is sharing this with you, you want to go with them and you want to get a link from them, they may have a link that you can go to. But let me share with you my website. On my website, as you look at here, it says the secrets of becoming asset rich. And you can find out how our team, my man Eddie Spears is on here as well. Shout out to Eddie Spears. And plenty of us are on here. And what you won't know will help you. The banks are stealing from you. We know that. You know the real difference between currency and money. Why the dollar is designed to make you and your family poor. Learn about our app that gives you 800,000 ways to save money. How to get out of debt and beat inflation. This won't cost you a thing. Convert wasted money into valuable assets. We can help you build a legacy for your family. All you gotta do is play this little small video, watch it, enter your name and email, and we're gonna send you an invite to the presentation tomorrow at 8:30. Now, if you can't wait tomorrow and you want to see one now, let me know, message me, inbox me and let me know you want to see a presentation now. If you want to join our live people, which are going to be hundreds of people that are joining on this call, the thing about it is some of those people could end up being in your organization and you'll be earning that $250 to $500 a week just from some of those people that are going to join anyway. So they're going to join anyway. Someone's going to make that money. It may be you, it may not be you. And again, the only thing you have to do to qualify for some of that volume is just have two people. And that volume could potentially, not going to guarantee, it could potentially end up directly near you, or some of it can. We have people that have gotten volume just because they participated. And literally, you really only have to have a person on one side that just invites people and you can access that money. So folks, that's how we are being able to build a lot of people who can be asset rich at the same time build a legacy. So folks, thank you for checking us out. I know I went over a little long. It's about an hour presentation. If you have an opportunity, definitely share this and watch this back. It's definitely worth it. Hopefully you learned something. Thanks everyone. Appreciate you getting on here, and we'll see you next time. And let me just make sure I give a shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Ed. Shout out to my man Clifton. And again, two people can definitely generate results. You're right. No lies detected. What's good, my man DePaul? Appreciate you. All right, folks. Happy Sunday to you. And if you missed this, just watch it back. It's very powerful. And everything I talked about here is absolutely 100% true. The only part that you need to do to make it a reality is make a move. Whether it's a move to protect your family or it's a move to have an offensive strategy where not only are you protecting your wealth, you're actually generating income as well. Either way, let us know. Thank you, folks. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next podcast.